I first got to know Nanci when I started working at Good Shepherd as the women's ministry leader. And she had been a Bible study leader before I started, and she had led Bible studies and women's Bible study for maybe longer than 20 years. So she had a wonderful style of leading her Bible study group, and she did such a great job of just digging out all the nuggets from the lesson and then bringing it home and applying it. Some of the things I enjoyed listening to her was just her fascination with people that were new believers and how she loved their questions, and she was a great leader to have new believers in because she just was so helpful in helping them just anchor their new belief in the Word of God. Her perception, her knowledge of theology, and her understanding of doctrine shaped the way we wrote those lessons. And she caught us going down the wrong track. And she pointed us back to what does the Greek word say and how does that fit in the context of the whole Bible. She mentored our whole team and just was an anchor for us as we were working on these lessons. And week after week, month after month, for 10 years, she spent a lot of time at home working on the lessons and then as a group, just editing them and just making them be as accurate and as insightful as we possibly could. So for me personally, her participation on that team was really crucial and personally mentored me week after week after week. And I think that has made me a better leader. I learned from listening to her and watching her. And I think one of my greatest takeaways from Nanci is how she always elevated the character of God in our conversations. She lifted up God in a way that before I was in that group, I did not even have a comprehension of. I didn't understand. She always elevated him and helped me to see his greatness, his power. She never minimized him, and she would never let anybody minimize the attributes and the character of God. So just being with her, listening to her catch us as we tried to separate the Trinity instead of seeing them as a whole, catch us as we wondered if God really meant what he said here in the Word, to remind us that God is all-powerful and love and mercy and grace and faithful and transcendent, and he remains in all, and there's nothing more great than him, and he is sovereign. I mean, those are the kind of conversations we had every single week. And they shaped my life. They shaped the way I think. They shaped my understanding of who God is. So personally, it impacted and mentored me. But then I was able to use what she had shown us and minister to all the women of our church. I see God's placement of her on that team and in the women's ministry for the women, but I really see it as a personal blessing from God to me to help me to do the job he's called me to do.